Alright, so starting a new game on normal difficulty. Day 0. We're gonna survive first night's wave with no problems, and most likely plenty of time to spare. First things first, survival node on the right side. Check your map. Somewhere northwest, city somewhere generally in the center. We'll stay away from it. We don't need to build in city. If you choose to build in city, you can do that. First things first, you want to gather resources quick. I assign my knife to a hotkey, which whatever I can find close enough to start chopping up. Wants me to assemble paper box. I'm out of paper box right now, so now I can destroy car next. Following survival notes in order can help you with a lot of extra resources. If you go out of order, you will have to, if you build a pickaxe too early, you will have to build a second one later when it comes back up in order to continue to progress through the notes. Alright, take this hotkey knife. We're gonna need lots of everything. It's not technically a bush, but need small stone from the ground. We're gonna need 2 of them. I'm doing a little extra than what the survival notes say, because I need a lot of extra stuff anyways. Alright, so while I'm working on one bush here, I'm eyeballing around for my next place I want to go. I don't see any freaking stones yet. Alright, just stamina's getting low here. Alright, here's some stones right here. We'll need at least 2 to start with. Alright, woodcutter's axe. Just build the axe. Don't do the pickaxe yet. Start chopping. Chop a handful of trees. As soon as I chop this one, it's gonna tell me build a pickaxe. Chop some more trees while I already got it out. Make the best use of my time. Save a little bit of seconds. No big deal. We should have time left over. Main key part is to keep moving. As you keep moving, you can get in a position like this where I'm hitting both the bush and the tree with every swing. Uses up less stamina. You get resources from both. We could reposition myself on this side of the tree, hitting the bush too. We're gonna need a ton of logs. Tons of logs, a bunch of tree branches, decent amount of rock, and all the iron ore rock you can come across. Or iron ingots from vehicles and barrels on the road. Alright, let's build the pickaxe. Destroy a boulder to get large stone. Probably not get large stone from this. This produces copper, iron ore. Take a while at the beginning, but you can get research upgrades to speed this up quite a bit. Some of these pesky rocks that are more flat on the ground, you can always kneel down and hit them easier. You just can't find the right angle. Sometimes either kneeling down to do it or changing into the new first-person view can help you get a better angle on rocks that may be lower to the ground. Having just like the view from behind better. Alright, next thing once we do the material production workbench. That I don't care to put that right on the ground where the zombies can reach it. And so I want it raised up. And it's at this point where I harvest the hell out of everything around me. If you want to build on a structure that's already in game, to take use of either getting off the ground level or fences that are already in the map to be able to add to your defenses. Hopefully you have an idea of where you want to go. But if this is one of your first time playing and you don't know the map already, it's no problem. You can kind of wander around just a little bit. You have some time to wander towards civilization. Without giving too much of the map away, there is a city generally in the center of the map. And from any overlook, you can see where it's at, what direction it's at from you. But there are multiple buildings scattered around across the landscape as well. If you find one you like that looks favorable to you and you want to set up a base on it, using it, you can. You can build on top of it, build entrances that maybe only you can get to, or you can just use it as a foundation of a building to help make it taller, or however you want to design your building. The point of this video, I'll build a Night 1 base outside of any of those buildings to not give me that advantage. Show you that it's quite possible to survive the Night 1 horde with 5 or 6 traps to start with. You have plenty of time to do it, as long as you keep moving. Gather up the right resources. If you see animals, you don't need anything to do with animals right now. You will need them by day 2. So once you build your base, if you come across especially rabbits, the rabbit fur transfers into leather, which you'll need for anything on day 2. Starting with the spike launcher. We should actually be able to make it all the way through the meat mallet in the survival notes. Now, I do hate the meat mallet myself, currently in its current state. So when we get to that point, I may or may not actually build a meat mallet. Pretty favorable to the double spinning blades. Found if you put them sideways across the zombie's path, they do well at blocking the zombie, slowing them down, all while cutting them up at the same time. But if you do know a building that you want to get to, if it is well protected by zombies, I would suggest building your day 1 base in the area of the building that you eventually want to move into. If you know you just want to explore the city and find a permanent base somewhere on the second day because you don't know the city that well, then I would suggest moving closer towards the city, building your Night 1 base. You can build a Night 1 base anywhere because it's going to be a standalone thing, and eventually you will tear it down on day 2 or 3, depending on how well you're progressing in those 2 days. But by the end of day 3, you should have a permanent base and gauntlet for the zombies to walk through. We can get the researches that allow you to tear down your base without losing any resources. So that way when you move to your permanent location, you have not missed out on any resources. Like I said, I'm just clear cutting an area, kind of. I'm somewhat moving in a little bit, but these big fat trees produce more logs per tree. Take an extra hit or 2 maybe, but no big deal. Had to give me 3 logs from that one. Kind of was expecting 4, but I think 4 is the most I've seen. In the current version, at least. They give me 3 logs, too. The main reason for this video is because they've severely upped the amount of zombies on Night 1 wave from what it used to be prior. The amount of zombies you get is probably somewhere close to what you would get in an old wave 10, not counting special zombies. Night 1 you will get 2 bigger zombies. Alright, make it back to the road here. I don't want to go too far off the road to start with because bears. Bears can be very dangerous to you early game. I would suggest getting a weapon and always keeping it with you. Once you find a firearm, take it with you and keep 60 to 90 rounds with you. That way if you come across a bear, make sure it's loaded all times. You come across a bear, pull that out, put 15 to 20 in his face and he's dead. In addition to cutting down the trees and getting a bunch of rocks, hitting as much stuff along the road as you can would be key, because the stuff in the vehicles and the barrels and the boxes can give you stuff, mainly the vehicles and the barrels, can give you stuff that you would normally craft out of raw materials, except you don't have to spend time crafting it or getting all the raw materials for it. So stuff along the road is key to getting started, especially iron ingots, which are key if you're trap building, are well needed, which is why we're hitting all these iron ore rocks, or what I like to call shiny rocks. Alright, so I missed a car over here. Alright, so there's some shiny rocks over there on that side. What I'm going to do is, I'm a fan of javelins. I came up, that way I'm ready to go. I liked ranged weapons on zombies. Ranged weapons may not be your thing, maybe you're better with melee. You can do two-handed swinging weapons, you can do one-handed swinging weapons and put a shield in the other hand if you want to defend against a zombie attack. I've really not played around with that much. I go javelins and then crossbow when I find a crossbow, just because they do good damage. Currently the javelins actually do more damage than a bullet from a rifle does. For some reason it doesn't hit both in the first swing, but it's okay. We're getting through it. Now keep an eye on your inventory and not do much more than raw materials. Come across animals, let them go. You just don't have the room to be carrying a whole bunch of extra stuff that you won't need. I wouldn't go looking for a ton of weapons. You really don't need anything. To be honest, you could probably get away with not even coming across zombie contact. I could build a base right back here. But after all this harvesting, you have time to travel to your base of choice. Tell you what, let's see if I can do this with no zombie contact until my base is up. Make it a little bit more challenging. Show that it can be done. You don't even have to fight a zombie. That's how I did my very, very first wave, to avoid zombie contact, because I had no idea what to expect. See, what I'm doing while I'm on a resource: one, I'm looking for zombies, make sure no one's coming up on me. Two, looking at where I'm going to go next. Normally the next closest thing, alright, I'm going to a barrel over there next. Alright, this is the last part of this section, so I'm balling down there. There's some iron ore and some cars to look like they have no zombies around them. A lot of times as you enter closer to civilization, zombies will be patrolling around the cars, but you can sometimes find groups of cars like this that completely empty of zombies. Like there's zombies up to the next group of cars. So maybe I won't go that far yet. You see off in the distance some sort of civilization and buildings. So you know somewhere east is the city. If you desire to go in that far. We'll build a base back here this time. And we'll just see how much extra time we can have at the end of the day. Because I've traveled all the way into the opposite side of the city from where I spawned at, and plenty of time to build a base. Currently the game starts at hour 14. First wave would be at midnight. Ideally, probably want to start building the first parts of the base between hours 18 and 20. Maybe not as late as 20. Depends on how much resources you have. There's a chance you'll have to make another run out, depending on what resources you come across first. You need a lot of logs to start with, a lot of vines, which kind of come with the trees and the bushes. These bushes that have more branches through them give you more tree branches versus fluffier bushes like this, which are less likely to give you more tree branches. They give you more leaves, seeds, maybe bird eggs, or vines. So I go for these branchy ones, these little tiny trees. Good with a knife too. Getting something bigger like that, use your hatchet. I gotta get a little stamina regen here. Sometimes I need to walk from bush to bush. Find 2 bushes like this. Oh, one more swing for the extra bush. Do damage to all of them and you use up less stamina. You want to make sure you have plenty of pieces of cloth found in these boxes. May also be found in the cars as well, or on zombies if you're going for zombies. We need to go a little bit far. We need some more vehicles if I'm not going to be taking out zombies. There are benefits for taking out zombies. I think that zombie over there is actually going to see me. My left. I've got to get pieces of cloth. You can craft pieces of cloth from leaves, but you have to upgrade a workbench once. He's going to see me. It's okay, no problem. Now, we could probably outrun him for 1 and 2, but... Javelin is probably one of the most difficult ranged weapons to get used to. Just because it has a slight delay after you click before it actually launches, and then it still drops over distance just like any other arrow. Finding pieces of iron and copper wires, these are key. It's stuff I don't have to craft, they're already whole pieces. I've already killed 1 zombie, let's just keep going. Go and collect your javelins. You can collect your javelins, your arrows, your crossbow bolts, all that good stuff. No bullets. Obviously. Clearing out houses can offer you lots of materials as well, but they typically can take a little bit more time. And if you've already been struggling with getting through day 1, I'd save the interiors of houses for at least day 2. All I'm doing is mass gathering. How's my stash looking? I want to leave pretty much the last row available for building. You know what? Before we go backtracking through all this used up road that I've already done, I'll just build right here. Doesn't matter where you build. Alright, so I'm not. This is where I'm going to detour from the survival notes. Do myself a favor here. Let's get rid of these guys so they don't sit here and watch me. The tutorial video is not for them. It's for you. Alright, so I'm going to hit him and let him come towards me. I don't like running back from my javelins, so you can bring it to me. Thank you. Alright, put that away. Running around with a weapon in your hand can slow you down, so. Alright, so we'll start with... We're going to build it in the middle of nowhere, so we're going to start with a back section. We're divided base up into 2 sections here. And we're going to do, we're going to say the car is the entry point. Go down just a tad bit, because I'm going to come out here. And I got snap on, so we'll generally auto-place next to it. So we got a little section here. We're going to divide our base into 2 sections. 1, crafting area. 2, gauntlet. Crafting area, I think I need somewhere around like 6. Alright, so this is going to be a safe area, and our access is the car, so there's no access for zombies up here. Alright, and it tells you where to go. Hit your B for survival set, your building modules. Go to the hammer, and crafting. Material production workbench. Boom, right here. Alright, so I put my stuff in order. I always do my raw materials on the left. It's just some OCD, and I like my stuff in the same place. Crafting workbench. Keep smacking the wrong buttons here. Crafting workbench. Okay, I'm missing lumber and wooden plank. Guess what? They're made right here. One lumber, one wooden plank. I'm not making anything extra right now. I know I'm gonna end up needing more. Now I turn them. It shows you the design fully done at upgrade number 3. But now we're at level 1 workbench. Alright, now I need a research table. Need 2 lumber, 2 planks. No, you know what, we'll make 10, because I know I need a lot of these already. Or 11. 1 rope, 4 nails. Yeah, making the rope, I need cloth. I have lots of pieces of cloth. Don't use them all up yet, because you're going to need actual pieces of cloth for something yet, but you can craft into full cloth. So we'll do about half of them. And you don't need full cloth for anything currently. Craft all those in a rope. Pieces of iron. Just make a bunch into nails, because you don't need a piece of iron for anything until a little bit later. Not on day 1. Research table. See, with research at the research table, alright, here's the key thing. Best thing to do is to do engineering graduate, followed by engineer, because you will need this one to build a trap machine for just another note or few in the future. Plenty of other good stuff in there. Feel free to look at it while the waves are coming, or while you're sitting around twiddling your thumbs waiting for the wave to start, because you're going to have some extra time. Craft a sleeping bag. This is where you need actual pieces of cloth. You need to have 6. That's why I don't turn them all into... You know what? Sleeping bag is flat. I can jump right onto it, so I'll put it right there in my way. All it is a respawn point. You don't really have to do one. If you don't have one and you die, you'll respawn where you first spawned in the game at. Flag. Again, not a needed item, but we're following the survival note because the survival notes give us rewards. In fact, if you didn't know, you can change the color of your flag. I do red for danger. Currently, we're in danger because we have no traps. But that's just how I play around with my base. Craft equipment workbench. Equipment workbench. Put these over here on the outside, out of the way. You know what? We're going to turn off snap, so we can slide it right on up here next to the research. Make a bow at equipment workbench. Equipment workbench. Bow. Already got all the pieces because I've been sitting there harvesting for a while, so we're ready to go. Build arrows. It says tab, and then the hand. Right in here, you can make it on yourself. In case you didn't know. One set of arrows. Bow and arrow is handy. I've just never really used it. Pendulum. Alright, here's again where we're going to detour. You can build your first trap, the pendulum, on the ground. What's to make the zombies walk through it? Absolutely nothing. Are they going to see that and say, oh, let me go get killed? Hell no. Alright, this is where you build section 2 of your base at. At this point, we should just have plenty of logs. We have like 35 logs or something like that. Still got plenty. Alright, so we're going to build part 2 of the base. I like these foundations, at least to start with. You start getting fancy with a base, kind of do whatever you want. Alright, so where we gotta decide what the front and the back is going to be. I like the back to be in my safe area if I want to. So, put the front up here, and here's a little trick, design tricks. A ton of arrows. Alright, let's build the middle first. Since we're on an incline, I don't want to build there and then back here be too down low. So, let's put this like in the middle. Alright, turn snap on again. Alright, pendulum is 3 foundations long. This is going to be our pendulum right here. Then, we're going to have our after the pendulum. And now let's have some before the pendulum. There's a pole blocking my path. That's okay. Because we can always detour it a little bit. So we will just route it. Let's route it this way. Alright. And I built stairs now. Both of these items come later in survival notes. But we can build a second set, and there's a reason for that. Pendulum. The best way to build a pendulum is to put the actual pendulum ball away from the entry point. So they're going to be entering where I'm standing. I'm going to put the pendulum ball on the other side. So in its first swing, when they come in here and trigger this thing to go, its first swing will be directly to their face, about right here, when they get part of the way through it. And it will knock them off the back. If you put it above you, come in here, they're going to get right about right here before they get hit in the back and shot forward. They might fall off this side. They might just speed through it a little bit, depending on how much they get moved by the pendulum. So I always put it in to where the pendulum hits them in the face. I find that it gets more hits that way as well. Next trap they want me to build is a cutter. It's your cutter trap right here. This trap's pretty handy. Build it right here in the front. Sometimes these traps can knock zombies off. Me. Once in a while. Turn on your light. On, off. Use your dodge function. Build a foundation. Alright. We'll build technically a 3-part base in this instance. Just because the survival notes are swapped around a little bit from what they used to be. I'm going to put this down just a tad bit so it's not much higher. And I'm going to put it within jump distance of the back of my base. You know what? Since they come up that way, let's build it on this side. We want it to be farther away from the front entrance. And I'll show you why. Next thing, once it's built, a set of stairs. So, a set of stairs, claw hammer. Or taking your base apart. Your claw hammer, assign it to a key. I highly advise against ever walking around with a hammer in your hand, because if you ever hit interact, then look at this. We have a volunteer already. So as long as we're on the back of this section, the zombies draw a line to you. Shortest path to you that they can get to you. And as we see, our current setup is working. He's looking for a way toward me. At some point, his zombie brain will figure out he needs to go back to the start again and get chopped and swung at if he makes it past that. And he doesn't. Okay. Now, I want us to light this foundation on fire. Now, I always light the other one on fire, just in case I mess up somehow. So we're going to sign on Molotov cocktails. Aim. Toss. Hammer out. Wants us to repair. Make sure you have a branch before you light this thing on fire. And go up to it, preferably without touching the flaming hot part, because it is hot and it does hurt. Once you repair it, once you demolish the stairs, as long as you're holding the hammer in your hand, you'll see the red F. You hold down. You don't have to hold it down. You press it. All of a sudden, you realize you got the hammer in your hand and you're taking apart something like a storage box full of useful stuff. You can always cancel it. Alright, so I'll put the hammer away. I want us to upgrade the foundation. Alright, so we need some cement and 6 bricks. We found here. You can look, even though I need to upgrade the table. Then the next section. Let's do the table upgrade. I need 2 more wooden planks. 2 planks. Upgrade the table. We got everything set. Cement. Technically, I can turn all these. I haven't seen limestone used for anything else other than cement. Bricks. Alright, so we'll do that section. And then we have able to upgrade the foundation. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a set of stairs leading right back up to that foundation. And I'm going to chop a little bit more wood because I know I'm down to my last few logs. It's okay, we couldn't really fit it in our inventory earlier Should be good to fit it now. We got 5 right there. Can max out at 20. That is not a log. That is a electrical pole. Alright, next thing I want to build is a cooking table. No problem. We probably already have the resources for it. We could just get a handful more logs. It's best if you, anytime you go out to gather resources, gather more than what you need, as long as you have room in your inventory to fit it. That way you're not going out for 2 logs, coming back and building something, then running back out again for 2 or 3 more logs, and coming back and building something, and then running back out again. You will burn through daylight hours, and you will not make it. You can cut down on the amount of logs that we've used already by starting your little crafting area on top of another structure. You can most likely get by keeping the crafting tables away from the gauntlet a little bit and away from you when the horde does come. I've just gotten in the habit of putting it in a safe spot that is not zombie accessible. There are jumping zombies. Most of the time, I haven't seen them jump unless they're jumping at me. So as long as I'm not standing up there, I don't really have a pathway up. Alright, we'll cut this tree and we'll head on back. Hour 20, and technically, we're set. We're good. I have run the cutter and the pendulum and been good on night 1. You do have to manage yourself as bait a little bit more, but you can get it done. It's not favorable though. Alright, cooking table. It's nice little, make a boiled egg, a cooking table. Just craft them all up. Eggs are pretty useful. Small animal trap. Good for catching rabbits and foxes. You will need some rabbits, so if you have a bunch of extra resources by the end of this, then put down a few more of those. You'll need a lot of rabbit skins to start with. Make a trap machine at a crafting workbench. Trap machine. What do I need? A gear. Craft a gear. Inventory full. Alright. You know what? I don't like Molotov cocktails. You can throw this stuff on the ground by clicking and dragging off. Leave. I can craft a workbench. Or craft a thing, too. We'll drag a few things out that I don't need right now. Alright. And I just picked it all right back up. I'm a dumbass. Yeah, while you have a wooden base, you don't want anything on fire anywhere around it. Fire will spread, your base will burn down, or you'll be running up to the flames during a wave trying to put out the fire. Alright, so I needed a gear. I need a whole plastic made from pieces of plastic. And I need a rubber ring made from pieces of rubber. That rubber resin I threw on the ground can make pieces of rubber once you upgrade to somewhere in here. Ah, right there, a piece of rubber. I could have done that instead of throwing it on the ground. Alright, trap machine. Build a pusher. Fun fact about a pusher. Pushes zombies off, right? Makes sense. I find I can probably just make a whole foundation. I've done. So I can put a foundation right here. And traps. Pusher. Missing 4 wooden planks. That's 5. Hit that flag. Put that flag there is not convenient. Alright. Pusher pushes out of both sides. As you can see, it's fully extended here in the picture. What I like to do is put it to where they have about half a route through. So this thing's about to push. Don't be standing on that side. You get yourself hurt. Any zombie that makes it past the pendulum does not get knocked off by the pendulum. Can come around here and get pushed off by the pusher. They will come through here. It's a small enough spot. Don't worry about that burning stuff. That's the Molotovs on the ground. Alright, build a compressor. We're going to need a trap. Alright, so we're going to need another trap machine. 4 rope, a lumber, 3 wooden planks. Lumber and planks. Alright, we don't need any more pieces of cloth right now. Convert them all into rope. Trap machine. Build a few of those. Build 4. Not build 4 of those. I think I need the nails for something. Trap machine. Alright, so we're short on iron ingots and copper wire. Here, part 3. See if we can get this upgraded. 8 trim stone, 2 more bricks. And this is why we harvest other stuff earlier. So we already have our supplies. We're not running out saying, oh crap, oh crap. You've already done hit a whole bunch of rocks and stuff earlier. And since we've hit some shiny rocks earlier, we've got some copper, which turns into copper ingots, which turns into copper wire. We got some iron ingots. We're getting short on tree branches. We're going to need some more of those. Alright, so should be good to get me up to 2 trap machines right now. Because we'll build a few more traps. Chances are we'll have to make another run out for that compressor. 5 rope. There is. Let's see what I need to upgrade. I think I need to upgrade the second one to get more. Get pieces of cloth. Yeah, turn leaves into cloth. Let's see what this upgrade needs. 4 bricks. Can I get 4 more bricks? Yes, just barely. I'm gonna upgrade this because we have tons of leaves and nothing to do with them. We're gonna make a bunch of pieces of cloth. Turn them all into cloth. Turn them all into rope. That we need 1 more wooden plank. We're gonna need some more logs here in a minute. I'd pay attention before I kept jumping off. Save a little bit of time here. I already know the next one they're going to want a spike trap, so we're going to need 3 more wooden planks and 2 more lumber. Hopefully I'm good on the rest of it. Alright, the compressor. Build my compressor right here. Next it wants to build us the spike floor. We already have our pieces. Fun fact, the spike floor and compressor can occupy the same spot. It's requiring you to have less foundations and spikes from both sides, which is fun as hell. Alright, so we're at our meat mallet. One I don't care for, but eventually you do need it for 2 different survival notes. One to build it for this one. Later on, they want you to power up a meat mallet. After that, feel free to destroy it, as I'd see. Unless a zombie sits on it for a little bit, or it has a full horde of zombies coming through it, I don't care for the meat mallet. I don't see it getting that many hits. My favorite, the grinder. But we will build a meat mallet, just because. Alright, 3 wooden planks and materials for a trap machine. I know I'm going to need some copper. Copper can either be found in, the iron ore deposits, or vehicles, or barrels on the road. Or a chance on zombies as well. Alright, so we're going to hit the vehicles right here. So we have a few more, as long as some barrels. There we go, we got 1 copper wire from the car. Alright, so we're already at hour 21. We're set, we're ready. The meat mallet is not going to make or break this thing. At all. Actually, this location up here is prime if you want to take advantage of a building. It would build your tables on top. Just build a set of stairs that don't lead from the ground to the top, so the zombies cannot find a path. Because as long as you create a little bit of a break between your structure, the zombies will not draw a complete path up to your items and have no reason to go up there and destroy them. It'll take them a while. If they get to that point, you should probably go ahead and restart. But if you ever wanted to use this, you could get... Wouldn't recommend this, it requires more supplies, but basically you put your stairs like right here, not touching the building. That way you can go to the top and jump over. Those compact stairs are handy if you need stairs in a small location. Like you're basically getting kind of compact, or you just need a way from one end to the other or something like that. Otherwise, I always build the wide stairs. I haven't really been paying attention. We got copper iron here and copper ore. So that's enough for 3 pieces. It'll give me for 1 more trap machine. I might get smacked here. Pull away. Get away from your friends. Not ready to start the party yet. We took 1 more javelin than normal. Alright. Go ahead and pull back now before we start start zombie issues. Okay, I was short on tree branches, so let's get tree branches. Somewhere in the crafting table as well, you can craft tree branches out of vines. So if you come across a lot of leafy bushes instead of the ones with a lot of sticks in them, you can always turn those vines into tree branches as well. I believe it's 10 vines for a tree branch currently. Alright. Boiled eggs. Up my stamina and energy. Pick up a few stones right here just to be able to repair that 1 concrete structure I got, but I really don't have to at all. So I'm not going to damage it. It's just used to my advantage to trick them. I'll show you completely how the layout of this trap design works. Gauntlet design. You want to make sure you have plenty of tree branches to reload and repair your traps. If you don't, they will run out. Zombies will eventually go through all the uses of your traps, even on night 1. So reloading is mandatory. Grab a few more logs here. We're at hour 22. Like I said, we're already done. We're just doing a little extra, getting ahead for tomorrow, really. I'll put up a light so that way you don't have to watch zombies die by flashlight. Get a light installed. Alright, can I already put a light in? Lights. Wall lamp. I need a trimmed log. I'll be good with just 1 trimmed log. You know, you really don't have to do this. Literally only doing it because of the video. This wall lamp where we can see it. Let's turn it in the right direction. Which way is it facing? There we go. Turn off the snap. You can mount them up there. I know you can. Alright. I think it's going to be on the outside of the trap. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Now we can see everything that's going on better. Alright, now what do I need for this meat mallet? Blind. Trap machine and 2 planks. That machine needs 1 piece of plastic. Alright, we'll put it here, snap it in place, just because that's what it wants. Now the next one's a spike launcher. You normally hit this one on day 2, because what you need is processed leather. So unless you come across rabbit skin already, or, yeah, trap's still up, so no rabbit's gotten in there. You're going to need a rabbit skin to get processed leather. Other than that, you can get wire from iron ingots. So I'll tell you what, we'll extend this out a little bit and see if we can't just add another trap while we wait, because we're completely done with everything I ever do on day 1, hour ahead of schedule. That's what I say, you got plenty of time to cross the map and set up where you want. If the building you want to set up in it's covered in big boy zombies, set up outside. Get through wave 1. Day 2, gather up your resources, get some weapons, go in there, clear the place out, then move on inside. Alright, so fast forward pretty much to wave time, because we're done and we're set. Okay, my fancy flag self, gonna change it to yellow, because our base is set, but it's not completely 100% secure. Here's how it's gonna play out. Our friends are gonna join the party, going up the stairs, getting chopped up, mostly avoiding a meat mallet. Spikes from the top and the bottom. They make it through there, get shoved off this way. They get shoved off that way somehow. They get shoved off this way. They make it through there, they squeeze through here, get shoved off here, and restart the whole thing. I'm gonna stand back here as the bait. If they happen to get past this or that close, I'm gonna jump over here. What this does, it breaks that current path, and they have to redraw a new path to my brains, which involves them turning around, going backwards through the gauntlet, coming down those stairs and around and back up these stairs. That's why we put this farther away from the entry stairs. So we're going to stand right here because we want them to draw a path through the gauntlet. And at no point do any of those paths ever involve my base over there unless I jump up there. Then they'll try to find a way to me. If they cannot find a way to me, they will start smashing the base until I'm dead. For the most part, we're good right here. This is in a danger zone? Oh, you bet it is. But they're not going to make it this far. Especially if we were to swap out that meat mallet for a grinder. Or even a second shredder. Or even another compressor spike combo. Doesn't have to be a combo, you can just have one or the other. Taking a while to get here. Oh, I hear somebody. There's one. There we go. We got some more out there too. That's a sweet looking combo. Alright, and as you get a break in it, you need to go up here and collect their stuff or check to see if you need some reloads. We don't need some reloads. So no one's even made it to the pendulum yet. Overall, your base should do all the work for you. The only things you should have to do are reload and possibly repair. if you have to fight off the zombie, your base is not sound. You don't have to collect all these till the next day. They're not going anywhere. But sometimes I clean them up because I got nothing better to do. Items don't need repairing yet. Or, yeah, it's not even no damage into that. There's 100 use on the spikes. What, 25 on the compressor from the top. So you do need to keep an eyeball on it. Yeah, it's got 14 uses left out of 25. There we go, we got some people that finally made it through. Unfortunately, they died from the pendulum, so they're getting shoved off and re-going again, but it doesn't matter how they get killed, as long as they get killed. Fun fact, if you're new to the game, your traps cannot hurt you unless they are actively being used. So if there's another zombie there with you and it starts up to kill that zombie, it will also hurt you too. Go ahead and repair this. There's 9 uses left. But sounds like another wave's kind of starting up, so we're gonna top it off. So I'm going towards the end when the bigger zombies get here. We will likely have to hit that reverse platform. Because he is likely to make it through and not get shoved off by the pendulum. And only sometimes gets shoved off by the push up here. We just wait. Waves continue coming until hour 2. And that, once you finish it off, it's done. Ready to start gathering for the next day. Suggest you make sure you go through and make sure all your traps are not damaged and they're all reloaded, just in case you forget before the next wave or you getting back just in time from the day's harvest. Usually I harvest during the day, head out immediately after the waves, rebuild, repair my base, and reload all my traps. Empty out my inventory into a storage box, head out for the day, and load myself up with all sorts of resources. Come back somewhere around 1800 or hour 18. Upgrade my base if I have plans to upgrade, or put whatever resources I was gathering to use, and tend to my base as night starts coming. $71 uses left. Hello. Caught me off guard a little bit. 15 on the top, 28 on the pendulum. As you see, we're in no danger at all. The pendulum's barely worked. It was done once on this wave. Pusher hasn't done anything yet. So we are whole useless trap sitting here. Not to mention the meat mallet is not putting in that much work. I think I got a hit that time. It almost seems like it needs a rotation swing before it starts damaging. Alright, points are full. 65 on the lower. Go ahead and top this one off. Oops. That's how traps can hurt you. It's got 49 uses left. Never mind. Now, for the point of the video, we'll make sure it keeps working. How about that? Now, whether you repair your traps at 99 of 100 uses left or at 0 of 100 uses left, it still costs 1 tree branch. It's going to cost the same no matter how many uses it has left. The best bet is to let it get as low as possible. Now, for hit points left on my base, I don't like them. I really don't like them below 60%, but below 50 or 40%. Repairing them, because depending on how big your gauntlet is, maybe a little bit before you get back to that section, and I've seen it to where I've left it at 40%, gonna reload another section of gauntlet, come back over there, and they knock part of it down. Do a handy snack while we sit here and watch death. I haven't raised any weapon against a zombie yet, and you never should have to. The only thing I might possibly have to do is when the stronger zombie gets here, jump back over to the other platform. My ears open for zombies. Point of the video, we'll keep these things topped off. There you go, there's our bigger guy. He tends to like to fall off a little bit more because he likes to try to get to me. There you go, you got knocked off on that one. So yeah, back to start. He's the one I'm eyeballing, the rest of them not gonna get through. But this is the hour 2 final wave. He falls off a lot. That's why it's it ran off again. That's why it's a good idea not to put railings along the sides. That way, if they are able to fall off, then they will. Then they will restart the whole gauntlet again. Oh, there we go. Didn't even have to move to the back for him. But sometimes some of the jumping zombies may want to jump from like here to over there, from standing over there. So I'll put a railing right here, keep it from jumping so much. Alright, and it sounds like that was it. You still want to make sure you keep your ears open, because there are sometimes stragglers who may get caught on something down the road or something like that. They'll show up here in a minute. Come out here and gather up all their goodies. I'm not hearing any stragglers. Alright, so this is all you need for wave 1. And we've finished horde 1, no problems, hours to spare. And we did it with the non-handy meat mallet. I suggest a grinder. If you ever use a grinder, here's an extra tip for the video. If you ever use this grinder, if the zombies are going forward and back along this path, I've found so far that putting the grinder path side to side has a better chance to stop the zombies, because they can't walk through those poles that go side to side while they're rotating. So the zombies run into them, get slowed down, all the while they're getting chopped up. Versus straight through, which I originally thought maybe had a better chance to hit, but realizing they can't walk through those poles, this will allow them a clear path through so they never get stopped. This one, with them moving back and forth, it tends to block their path and slow them down. Now they may take a little bit more damage because the zombies are on them longer, so you need to keep an eye on that. Alright, so that's it. And because of my own fancy flag system, we're green, we're good to go. Hope you enjoyed the video. You can check me out on Twitch at CMNDOKiller or on Twitter at CMNDOKiller. I've been playing this game constantly for a little while now, and we'll continue to stream it. Feel free to stop by. Love to get to see you. Ask any questions you got. Maybe I'll put a day 2 video as well as best thing to do next. Appreciate everyone being here, and please like and subscribe to the channel if you don't mind, and I hope to see you around.